Hey, welcome to Everyday Moment. I'm Greg Blythe. Glad to be back with you. Had a momentary pause, and we're going to be doing that. We're going to take a little bit more breaks. I am actually going hunting for the very first time. I did some fowl hunting in high school. I'm 53, so that's quite a while. So next weekend, I'm looking forward to being in the woods for 4 days, and I definitely knew that I had to have a knife. So Spartan Blades is an outdoor knife. You whether you use it for hunting, whether you use it for any type of like woodwork, but it is not a kitchen knife, so I thought it would be fun out of the box just to see how it performs for you. I know that you guys are used to culinary knives, but we're going to use an outdoor knife in a culinary setting just to see how it holds up. What are my expectations? My expectations are it's going to be hard and not quite as sharp. It's going to be something that is not made for the cutting the finer things, because it needs to chop wood, but I'm going to have to use it till, I'd say, skin an animal and process if I get to that point. Hopefully I see something, but we shall find out. So Spartan Blades is out of North Carolina, and so the blade I picked, it had a steel that I was familiar with, which made me excited because it's Magnacut. And Magnacut really has that hardness. It has that corrosion resistance. It is a little bit harder to sharpen to get it to a super sharp place, and so we're going to find out how sharp it is out of the box. Also, this is a combat knife, a fighting knife, so you can use it in any setting normally other than culinary. We're going to find out if it could be used that way. So I'm going to go ahead and show us what that looks like. So it comes in a Kydex sheath.
Oh, I didn't see the box.
There we go.
All right.
And this is the first time it's being revealed.
You can glue it down. There you go. Thanks. Yep.
I'm just showing you the back. So this has got the Molly system for those of you who are combat ready.
Whoa, watch your fingers. Holy crap.
Yep. So that had a nice like pop when it came out, meaning that it's definitely going to hold itself.
There you go. Thank you.
And we're going to definitely turn and show the thickness behind the edge. You can see that there's plenty of mass to create force. Mm-hmm. So definitely a lot thicker than what we're used to. This is something what I remember, some of the thicker knives that are like boning knives, like a Honosuke.
Yeah.
So I already have a little scratch, and that's the things that's going to happen, especially when we're in the woods next week. The scratch in the tungsten coating probably came from just pulling it out of the sheath. Okay. So, wow, it's got a little bit of an edge. We're going to find out what it is. So let's just go ahead and put this away. So again, I'm excited. I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm going to North Carolina with a friend who's an accomplished hunter. So
Trevor, buddy.
Let's see, Trevor, our new son, in case you guys haven't remembered, he was a dog that we adopted who was abandoned in July.
And now he's like as close as he could possibly be.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get the light on here. Okay, so hopefully pulling it out of the sheath, I'm sure the Kydex might actually dull the edge. I have no expectations of what this is going to be. No expectations whatsoever.
$330.
So 330, and we will do one more. Because again, like, you know, when you do this, I don't know if you know that you're picking a certain point on the blade, and from what we've learned over a period of time, you can damage any one part of the blade and have it so much sharper in one point than the other. I do know this. I'm going to test it again in a second after I put it on a strop, just to see if there's any type of metal that might have been scraping the edge of the knife. Okay, so let's see. Should I slide it up and get closer to?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't. Really consistent.
Pretty consistent, yep. So let's do this real fast.
Okay.
I'm kind of tethered here, so there you go. Let's see how much slack we can get.
Oh, sorry, Trevor. Good grief.
So for those of you who are going to ask, this is kangaroo tail. It's very hard to get these days. This was from the Knife Grinder organization out of Australia. So we're just making sure that if there's any metal that was on the edge, that is the rough side.
I don't know if the up's getting the proper.
You don't know if what?
The up seems to not be getting like the proper, the upstroke. That one, yep.
All right, let's see if that did anything. So we do appreciate you guys being patient with the channel. We've just had a lot of things going on. Christian retreat, another follow-up surgery, and it's the holidays coming up, so we have like a variety of things going on. I'm going to be out of town for the next 2 weeks. For those of you who follow the show, we had a big weight loss, and so I'm going to go meet my coach that I've had for 8 years for the very first time and train with him. All right, let's see if that did anything to help us out.
Yep.
So that was a dramatic increase, 250.
259.
259. Okay, so let's see. Does that cut paper? Does 259 cut paper?
We're going to find out. Yes, it does. Watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously, babe.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking like that little bit of teeth. I think that's, I'm just doing this for me since I'm going to be using it for hunting. I can tell that little bit of that grit, that loudness that we heard, that was like a little bit of metal still on the edge.
Yeah. But also, would you think some of the sound had to do with the thickness of the knife at all?
No.
No? Okay.
Not at all. So when we do the paper test, for those of you watching, we're listening to see how clean the edge is. This is not a corrugated knife. What I believe is that, see how it was much smoother on the edge. So that's what I was looking for. So it just had a little bit of metal. See how it's much smoother there? Before it was bunching. Push cut? No push cut. But let's do a culinary setting, because we do have some food that's going to get made anyway.
Buddy, poor baby.
So, what are we thinking this is? This is a little bit shorter than a Santoku, probably. It's more like a utility knife length. It's got the weight though. So if I have just a bell pepper, that's where I could feel the wedge. I could feel the thickness of the blade right there, wedging itself through the food. So I can tell this knife is definitely more of an industrial purpose. Because, you know, we're used to it being so much more smooth on a little bit of a longer knife. It's a little bit flatter, because normally what I can do is I can kind of lay the knife down and cut through. And we're just removing that better part. But this knife's going to be a little bit more indestructible. So it does have an edge that has a little bit of a rock to it. So let's see if this would be like a rocking knife. Now, obviously, in a culinary setting, there's no room for my hand.
Yep, so no.
So I'm having to actually take my fingers out to kind of...
Still not getting all the back of the cut. There, that one.
So this would be more of a slice if I was using this somehow as my kitchen knife in the wilderness. I think that's the technique, because it's not flat enough or long enough.
Not long enough, yeah.
To get through the whole way.
Right.
But it does slide kind of easily through this. But it also lets me know when I'm going into the woods on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, what I brought with me. Now this is, for this particular company, one of the longest knives that they make. So this is definitely going to be one of those save my life if I need my life saving kind of knives. It is more of a combat utility, maybe some woodwork if I was making a fire. But if I needed to cook some food, we now know that you got to use it in a special way. But the good thing about Magnacut is once you put whatever edge you put on it, now obviously I'm able to put a little bit more of an edge on it myself. It's going to keep that edge for quite a long time. And again, if you're a knife sharpener, you really don't want this super ultra sharp, because when you do some of the utilitarian things, we've just noticed that the other camera.
So we might have an issue for a minute, but.
So listen, if you guys were watching and you had a visual situation, then it fell. I mean, what can we tell you? The gimbal kind of needed readjusting. But just to finish what I was saying, if you were to actually make this extremely sharp, then what would happen is become more brittle in that situation. My wife is saying, give her a second. There you go.
So
and is it still running?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You know, the microphone stopped working when you unplugged it.
Yeah, so they might not have heard that last sentence.
Well, we don't like to do the edit because we guys like you to know that we're not like chopping up and making it super. We just do reviews the way they are. I'm excited to have this on me for the variety of things I'm going to need for 4 days in the woods. Between the being in a boat going up a creek and then hiking several miles staying again in a camper / climbing up a tree stand for whatever I might need. I'm glad that I have this with me. Magnacut hardened to a 61 to a 63 with the tungsten coating. It should, you know, prevent all the corrosion. If I needed to stick it in a tree to climb up the tree, I don't have to worry about that. If I need it for skinning the deer, I'm able to do that. So I'm excited to have it with us. And Spartan Blades did not send this to me. I just bought it for the purposes of hunting. Glad I have it, but I'm glad to give them a shout out and put a link in there. No, I don't have any discount codes for you or anything. It was just something I wanted to get. I did talk to, and this is not a cheap knife by any means, but I did talk to the guys over at Maleo who use Magnacut all the time. And I said, you know, is this something you could make? And he said, not at that price point. It would be, and again, it's not something he does all the time, but so if you like a Magnacut, you like it for outdoor purposes, definitely check out Spartan Blades, spartanblades.com, and out of North Carolina. And they're doing fine as far as the hurricane goes. They're doing fine. It just missed them. So we appreciate them. We appreciate you. Thanks for checking in on something a little bit different. And I'll let you know how it goes. God bless.